Hey everybody, Scott Eblin here. Welcome to Tuesday's Video Book Club. I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction today with the book club and start out by showing you the best gift I have ever received. It is this beautiful red Yamaha bass guitar. My wife gave this to me back in 1987, I think it was. And the reason for this was when I was a kid in 9th and 10th grade, I was the bass player in a rock band and with some of my best friends who are still my best friends, and we were in a band together. And I was, well, let's say collectively we were pretty bad. We played a lot of Kiss and a lot of Bachman Turner Overdrive, anything with simple power chords. But for a 9th or a 10th grader, I wasn't a bad bass player. Today, however, I am a very bad bass player, and there's a simple reason for that, which the Video Book Club subject author for this week explains very simply. The title of the book this week is Talent is Overrated. It came out a couple of years ago. It's by Jeff Colvin. He's a senior editor of Fortune magazine. And here's the basic premise of the book and the research that Colvin summarizes in the book. Is no one is born being great at anything. It all comes down to practice, practice, practice. And not just practice, but deliberate practice. Colvin cites a lot of the examples that folks would usually say, well, that person was a prodigy, like Mozart. And he tells the real story behind Mozart, and you realize Mozart was a really accomplished musician, but he started at a very early age. As a matter of fact, it takes about 10,000 hours of practice to be really good at anything. So while I'm not a good bass player, I think I am a pretty decent coach. Why is that? Well, over the last 10 years, I've had at least 10,000 hours of practice in coaching. And not just practice, but as Colvin would say, and Talent is Overrated, deliberate practice. He gives a lot of great advice and tips on how to be deliberate in your practice. Just one simple example. It's a before, during, and after kind of approach. Before, set your goals for the practice. During the practice, the really terrific people are great at self-observing. Actually, I encourage my clients to self-observe a lot as they're practicing new skills. And after the practice, you get some evaluation. You either do a self-evaluation or you bring in feedback from others to give you their evaluation of how you did. And if those folks are expert, even better. It also helps from a deliberate practice standpoint to have an expert help you lay out the practice program. And in some cases, that's what I do for my clients, is help them figure out, what the leadership behaviors are that they need to adopt and be better and better at to be more effective leaders. Colvin talks about that kind of practice and lots of other kinds of practice in this book, all towards the end of being really, really, really good at whatever you do. So the good news is you don't have to start playing the piano at age 2 in order to be a world-class pianist. You just have to be committed to it, or a world-class bass player, as the case may be. You just have to be committed to it and put in the practice. At this point in my life, I'm not committed enough to the bass guitar. As much as I love looking at that beautiful present, I'm not committed enough to be a world-class bass player. However, I'm pretty committed to being a world-class coach. So that's what I'm practicing. I'd encourage you, if you're practicing something that you want to be better at, take a look at Jeff Colvin's book. Again, the title is Talent is Overrated. It's a very simple read, really compelling read, and I think you'll find it useful and interesting. See you next week.